There's a rock floating in space.
400 meters wide. Worth more than the entire global economy.
And in 2029, someone is going to crash it into the stock market. You see, this is how asteroids really destroy civilizations, not by hitting the planet, but by hitting the price of platinum.
Okay, so let's get right into this. We've got to go back to February 26th, 2025. Something happened that day that odds are you probably didn't even notice. A little 100-kilogram spacecraft called Odin launched from Cape Canaveral. And get this, the whole thing costs just $3.5 million. I mean, that's a tiny fraction. We're talking only 7% of what a similar NASA mission would run. And it didn't just stay close to home either. It traveled 300,000 kilometers beyond Earth. That's farther than any commercial vehicle in history. Its target? An asteroid called 2022 OB5, a huge metallic rock packed with more platinum than we've ever mined in all of human history. Okay, so here's the twist. The mission, it failed. Yep, communications were lost, and the spacecraft just tumbled off into the void. But, and this is the really wild part, that failure, it doesn't even matter. The crucial point, the real takeaway, is that they proved it could be done for a measly $3.5 million. So, that's what's happening up in space. But let's bring it back down to Earth for a second. Because while Odin was, failing its way to success, a serious crisis was brewing right here at home. The price of platinum has just skyrocketed to a multi-year high of $2,300 an ounce. For the third year in a row, we're using more than we're digging up. And to make things worse, South Africa, which by the way controls 70% of the entire global supply, is in real trouble. Their output is collapsing, mines are shutting down left and right. So what about our stockpiles? Well, we've only got about 5 months worth of global demand covered. That's it. We're on a knife's edge. And at the exact same time, you've got the hydrogen economy. Our big hope, our supposed answer to climate change. Well, to make that a reality, we're going to need a 240-fold increase in our platinum supply by 2050. Let me say that again. 240 times more. Under the current system, that is physically impossible. There's just no way. The world is literally running out of the one metal that makes clean energy work, and Wall Street is celebrating the shortage.
So I know what you might be thinking. Hold on. Precious metals don't just lose their value. Come on, they've been a store of wealth for like 5,000 years. And you know what? That's a fair point. To answer that, let me tell you a quick story about aluminum.
Believe it or not, back in the 1850s, aluminum was the most valuable metal on the entire planet. Yeah, more expensive than gold. Napoleon III used aluminum cutlery at his fancy state dinners just to show off. The very tip of the Washington Monument was capped with pure aluminum to signal unimaginable wealth. But then, 1886 happened. A couple of scientists figured out a revolutionary new way to refine it, and just like that, within 30 years, technology completely craters the price, dropping it from $500 a pound to literally pennies. The entire wealth class built on aluminum, poof, wiped.
Well, you're living in 1885, and platinum is the new aluminum.
So what's our version of that revolutionary refining process? What's the big game changer this time around? It comes down to one word: Starship. Think about this. On January 16, 2025, SpaceX literally caught a 20-story tall rocket booster out of the sky with a giant pair of mechanical arms. It's reusable, refuelable, ready to fly again in hours. Because of this, the cost of sending anything to space is just plummeting. We're going from something like $100 million per ton down to an internal goal of just $100 per kilogram.
Just let that sink in for a second. Platinum is worth $30,000 a kilogram. If it only costs you $100 to get the equipment up there to get it, well, the profit margin is insane. We're talking over 300 times your investment. And this right here is the great inversion. Space isn't the expensive part anymore. Earth is.
Okay, so let me paint you a picture of what happens next. We call it the MIDAS event, and the year is 2029. A massive mining vehicle, let's call it Vestry 5, is on its way back from the asteroid belt. Its payload? 500 metric tons of refined platinum. Now, to put that into perspective for you, right now all the mines on Earth combined produce about 180 tons a year. This one single ship is carrying almost 3 years' worth of the entire planet's supply. So what happens to the market? It's a total collapse, and it happens fast. In month 1, as the ship returns, futures traders start aggressively betting against platinum.
By month 2, the big mining companies see the writing on the wall and just suspend all operations, kicking off massive social unrest. Month 3, as the refining starts in orbit, the price drops so low it's already cheaper than digging it out of the ground. Every mine on Earth is basically insolvent. And then, month 4, the first shipment touches down. The price hits $12 an ounce, cheaper than silver.
And just like that, the entire $200 billion platinum wealth class, it just evaporates, vanishes, taking pension funds and whole economies down with it. But here's the thing. This massive destruction isn't the end of the story. It's actually the beginning of a paradox. So while the old guard mining billionaires are panicking, the hydrogen economy absolutely ignites. See, this isn't just some market correction. It's the definancialization of matter itself. Yet the crash wipes out $200 billion in mining wealth, but in its place, it unlocks an estimated $14 trillion in clean energy value.
Here's why. Fuel cells need platinum as a catalyst to work. At $2,300 an ounce, they were always way too expensive for mass adoption. But at $12 an ounce, oh yeah. Suddenly, hydrogen becomes cheaper than gasoline. Overnight, carbon emissions collapse, not because of some policy, but because scarcity was the only thing keeping fossil fuels competitive.
You know, my name doesn't matter. We just call this file the Ledger of the Fall. It marks the moment humanity finally realized that abundance could be engineered, that the so-called laws of economics were just temporary constraints of gravity. In 2050, where I'm from, we don't mine Earth anymore. That's barbaric. This recording is being timestamped December 29th, 2025. You're watching The Prelude.
The future isn't coming. It's in orbit, waiting to fall.